You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Welcome to the White Wall Sessions Radio. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. On tonight's show, High Rise, Elisa Sun, and Annie Mack. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter by searching the White Wall Sessions. We are now accepting submissions for Season 8. To apply, visit whitewallsessions.com/appear. The White Wall Sessions would like to thank these fine sponsors for their support. Last Stop CD Shop, Bell Incorporated, Workplace IT Management, Ben's Brewing Company, Screenflare, J. Rick Music, The Pink Moon Room, Minuteman Press, and South Dakota Friends of Traditional Music. Journeying from West River, South Dakota, Rapid City's reggae rock band High Rise joined the White Wall Sessions for Season 7. Their solid percussion and balanced rhythms set a solid foundation for easy melodies and smooth vocal. The band has 2 singles released to date, 2019's Wicked Ways and Shoot Me Down. High Rise is Corey Gould, guitar and vocals, Becca Atkins, keys, djembe, and vocals, Kelly Phillips, percussion, Jess Allen, drums, and Garrett Holtz, bass.
Flying among the clouds, I just wanna live my life right and be one in the crowd. My friends, they keep on telling me that I should settle down. Just wanna live free, and jam out to the crowd. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? I just wish I had some downtime, some time to myself, another chance to rewind. I take my life off the shelf. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? time to myself. Another chance to rewind. I take my life off the shelf. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud? Can you hear the sound when we sing it loud?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All these are brand new, just as new to us as they are to you. So good thing that went well.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the instrumentation of this band. There's some really, I mean, the way you guys use the instruments you have and the space you have, I think is outstanding. And let's start with those keys and vocals. I mean, you know, there's a way to do it, and that's the way you're doing it, you know?
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
So, keys, right? I've been a musician for about 20 years. Been playing drums for 20 years, right? Started picking up keys about a year and a half ago, right? And I watch a lot of keys players. I watch videos. I watch anytime I can. That's who I'm watching, really, because it's cool. And so that's just kind of what I picked up. And it's a really rhythmic, percussive instrument. And so as long as you can follow, you know, the octaves and the kind of chord progressions, you know, and just play with it. That's what I do.
It's kind of like a drum, a
Yeah.
hand drum.
Yeah.
Drum-esque.
Same thing.
I'm like, hey, can you learn how to play keys? And she's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, she's been playing. She's
Yeah.
a trap set player for 18, 20 years, and we're like, hey, you want to join our band? We need a percussion player, and she's like, okay. And then I don't know, we're like, hey, what about the keys? What do you think about that? And she just whips it out like nothing.
Well,
like so.
she
I think
did have
we
a
could hand her
djembe.
anything, and she would get it.
I
yeah.
can believe it, yeah. She did have a djembe hanging off her shoulder while she was playing. Was that just kind of a comfort thing? I mean, you play it really, really well.
she's
Now
good
I
at
know
it, too.
why, because you've been playing the drums for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does that Black Hill Drum Project with us too. She plays drums really well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of, drums are like my heart, you know, but the keys are really fun too. And so if I can figure out how to combine everything and do it all at once, that's my goal.
She can throw the tambourine in there too. So that all three
Yeah,
goes.
shakers,
It's like,
you know.
It's just
what are you
such a
doing
short
over
little
there?
thing. They don't have time to bust that out.
Well, there really are three percussionists in this band.
Yes.
There's the drummer, standard, great reggae drummer. I mean, great drummer.
Thank you very much.
And then we've got
Yeah.
you got the congas. Am I right? Congas?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
congas
and then
and
you've
djembe.
got the djembe. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, it's it's there. It did djembe or djembe, and people just it's whatever really.
Yeah, good.
It sounds good. That's all that matters.
So how long have you been playing percussive?
Oh, jeez, I built my first drum when I was 14. Learned how to
Really?
play it and been playing ever since.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because you even brought this Russian drum. What's that called again?
Yeah, that's the Rap Vast. It's a hand pan. Actually, it's a tongue drum. This version of it.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's right here.
Great sounds. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's
Almost
one
like
of
a
the sounds
steel
right
drum,
there.
but a totally different thing.
Yeah,
How
that'll
long
have to
you
be
been
another
playing,
white
Jesse?
wall session.
Oh, I've been playing for a long time. I actually started out playing guitar a lot when I was in high school, and I played in some punk rock bands and that kind of stuff, you know. And my brother was always a drummer, and so growing up, we played a lot of music together. I played guitar, he played the drums, but I always had a drum set in my house, so I always kind of, I taught myself how to play, and I kept kind of playing, and then when I got a little older, like it seemed like everybody that needed a drummer. Everybody knew how to play guitar at the time, and no one had a drummer. So I started, well, I can kind of play the drums. And so I just kind of got back into it, started taking some lessons, and kind of got a little more skill, and started playing live, and just kind of went from there. So I've been playing drums for my full-time instrument. I'd probably say the last close to 10 years or so.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, with 3 percussionists out of 5, you really share that space well. I mean,
Yeah, that connection.
We
That's
go
crazy.
We go for that, and we really do. We all feed off each other, and it makes my job as a drummer a lot easier too. To have these guys are somebody like Kelly there with me too. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot less fills, a lot less stuff I have to do because I know he's right there. And we can kind of go back and forth. And
We naturally just share that sound too. It's just a connection.
The thing about us is we're all kind of learning as we go. Like none of us know what we're doing up here, honestly.
We know a bit.
she slaps her for yourself.
This guy right
Tell
here,
them our
Jared.
secret.
Stand up for your right to party. Stand up for your right to speak the truth. 'Cause when you're feeling down and naughty, you can't resist the urge to let loose. We're gonna dance the day away. Dance the day away. Dance the day away. We're gonna dance the day away. Dance the day away. Dance the day away. Dance the day away. We're gonna dance the day away. Shout! Sometimes it's hard to forget your trouble. Sometimes it feels like you just won't quit. Move fast, make haste on the double. And in your lifetime, you take the hit. Feel the beat move all over your body. Bubble, move your hips. Let the engines take full circle. And in your lifetime, you never forget. We're gonna dance the day away. Dance the day away. Dance the day
All right, thank you.
Also fresh.
Coming up after the break,
Fresh as
Elisa
they come,
Sun.
that one there.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Hi, I'm Ben Hanton, founder of Ben's Brewing Company. At Ben's, we've always appreciated the finer things in life, like great friends, great music, and great beer. Ben's Brewing Company is proud to announce our White Wall Session Ale. This light pale ale is sourced from the finest local ingredients and pairs exceptionally well with great friends and great music. Enjoy responsibly. Ben's Brewing Company, Yankton, South Dakota.
Good people drink Ben's beer.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Elisa Sun visited the White Wall Sessions this summer as part of her year-long nationwide tour. Elisa and her partner, Ken Macheski, brought their guitar, cajon, and 30-foot RV to the studios for a performance that will be remembered. Her jazz, soul, and pop tendencies, mixed with her cool, powerful voice, is a cocktail for the senses.
Talk that talk, baby, walk that walk. I know you like to put me in a box. Got me where you want, yeah, you know what's hot. Tell me what I am, tell me what I'm not. Cog in the machine, baby, pick me for your team. Take it light, don't take it personally. Give you press for a small fee. Get your glory, get your own mainstream. I'm a monkey, baby, make me sing. Popularity, no, it ain't no thing. This town ain't big enough for the both of us, baby. Quick draw, no, that ain't my style lately. Take me in, oh, then take me out. I know you like me to shut my mouth. Places everyone, yeah, the curtain dries, oh, cover me up, powder on my floss. Cog in the machine, I'll wait patiently. I can see your eyes turning green. I'll give you press for a small fee. Get your glory, get your own mainstream. I'm a monkey, baby, make me sing. Popularity, no, it ain't no thing. This town ain't big enough for the both of us,
Thank you so much, everybody.
And when you started playing guitar, would you just kind of start with the open chord folk song chords and then
Yes.
graduate to jazz?
A lot of Oasis.
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
Without the drama?
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I did a lot of, my first few songs that I wrote were, they were 4 chords. And then as I started playing more and more and getting more into like jazz, bossa nova, I started learning like, oh, major 7, like that's my favorite chord. My band is like every single song has a major 7. But yeah, so that's kind of how it happened.
So when did you start writing then?
Same time. So it all happened at the same time. It was like this crazy, like mind-blowing like year of my life when I figured out that this was something that I have always wanted to do and never did because something just shifted where I was like, I'm just going to do this because I don't know. I was encouraged by friends. I was encouraged by my sister, who's a really big inspiration to me. And that people that knew me very well, they knew that I had a voice. They knew that I loved writing because I love to write. I love writing poems and I love just writing in general. So it's like you have the skills, you just need to try it. And so I just went for it and it all just like happened at the same time. So yeah.
So when the first few songs you wrote, what style were those in? I mean, were those sort of...
So yeah, that's a funny one because a lot of people don't know this about me, but the first few songs I wrote were actually comedy songs. My sister, like I said, she's a comedian and a comedy writer. She writes for TV shows in LA and she's just amazing. So I appreciate comedy. I love stand-up comedy and, so the first few songs I wrote were really silly comedy songs, like parody songs. And then I went through a big breakup and then I started writing like serious songs. So that did it. Yeah. But they were all very, I would say pretty folky, just maybe 3 or 4 chords that repeated. And then, pretty simple. Yeah. So
how did they get to what they are now with the jazz, so that all those different chords you're using, were those, do you think in those kind of chords or do you think in major chords and those have evolved through the song?
I think it just kind of happened. The way that I write songs, like I said, I just started playing a lot more different chords. And then I don't know, that's a good question. I think I just started to really decide that was the style I really liked. Although I do have songs that I still write that are still not super jazzy sounding, but yeah, I think it just kind of happened. It's hard to, yeah.
Do you ever come to a point in a song where you know what it's supposed to sound like, sort of a jazzy, weird jazz chord, and you don't know that chord yet, so you have to try and learn it to what's in your head, or do you just use your catalog that you've already learned?
Oh, yeah, I think I've discovered new chords that way too, where I'm like, I'll be playing something and then I'll be like, oh, this needs to go to this one. And then I play around with it and figure out that it needs to be X chord. But I never really I took a few guitar lessons, like one-off ones here and there, but I don't consider myself like a professional, like I'm definitely not classically trained guitarist or anything. So I'm still like, sometimes I play chords still and I don't even know what it is. Really? So yeah, but I did take piano lessons as a kid. So I know the chords on a piano for the most part, but.
So you know that it sounds right. You don't necessarily look at your fingers and say, well, technically that's correct. Sonically that's correct to you.
Yeah. Yeah, usually it's kind of like that.
Well, you're a great guitar player.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So the songs you write, seem to be kind of personal and observational and emotional. Does the lyrics and the meaning of the song come before the music, or does the music tell you what that song's about and then the lyrics come?
Yeah, it's always different. When I first, I think when I first started, I was writing chord progressions, and then I would start there, and I would think like, okay, this is this chord and this chord and this chord that sounds like this, and then I'd kind of like think like, okay, this sounds like a song about this, and then I would kind of do it that way. But then there's also been other times where I've had a melody in my head, and then I start with that, and then I bring that to the guitar or piano. And then other times it's like happens at the same time. So it kind of depends on how it happens.
So you write both on a guitar and a piano?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's harder in the RV. We don't have a piano in the RV. I have a keyboard, but it's a whole process to get it out. We have to lift up the bed and take it out. But yeah, I do like to write. When we do, so our plan is actually to move to Nashville after the tour, so I'm excited about that. And when we do have like a home base, I really want to write more songs on the piano. So,
do they come out different when you write them structurally when you write them on the piano, or is it just a different way of getting the notes you need or the chords you need?
Yeah, it's more like that. It's kind of just a different way. Also, I think at this point, my piano skills might not actually be. I might be better at guitar now than I am at piano. Like it's like the piano skills I have are good because I know how to read music and play. But I don't actually know a lot of super jazzy chords like I do on the guitar. Like if I were to play a chord on a guitar, I might not necessarily know how to play that on piano.
Please, oh please, make the siren stop. Oh, watch for the dust to settle. Heavy metal nothing. Another boat to rock. Oh, can't steady the tides. Oh, this boat ain't mine. Bring me back to life. Oh, spring me anew. Oh, it's beginning to unravel me, and you bring me back to life. Oh, fly me through. Oh, can't wait another moment to unravel me, unravel you. Call me down from planet Earth. Wake me up, oh, shake off my nerves. Oh, then push me to sea. I can feel the sand on my skin. You're without, I'm within. Where you gone, I've been. Bring me back to life. Oh, spring me anew. Oh, it's beginning to unravel me, and you bring me back to life. Oh, flying through. Oh, can't wait another moment to unravel me, unravel you. It's an uphill climb, this heart of mine. Feel like I'm 2 steps from tumbling down. Got both feet off the ground, all black and blue. Ba me unravel you.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, Annie Mack.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Hi, I'm Ben Hanton, founder of Ben's Brewing Company. At Ben's, we've always appreciated the finer things in life, like great friends, great music, and great beer. Ben's Brewing Company is proud to announce our White Wall Session Ale. This light pale ale is sourced from the finest local ingredients and pairs exceptionally well with great friends and great music. Enjoy responsibly. Ben's Brewing Company, Yankton, South Dakota.
Good people drink Ben's beer.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Annie Mack, a dynamic singer-songwriter from Minneapolis, Minnesota, brought her band to our studios for a soulful and powerful performance.
Lead with distortion notes.
Enriched in blues, soul, and gospel, Annie's songs uplift and inspire.
All right, that sounds good. Let's go to the bass.
Annie Mack is Annie Mack, vocals, Brett Lacasse, guitar, Chad Whitaker, bass and vocals, Alec Tackman, guitar, and Tim Wick on keys.
have myself to blame. Have myself to blame. Only have myself to blame. There ain't never no rest from this pain. Sing my sorrow. Hey, look out now. Be my name. Be my name. Oh, Lord, be my name. Swear it is, Lord, if I didn't know any better. Sing my sorrow, yeah, be my name. Swear it is, Lord, if I didn't know any better. Sing my sorrow, a sorrow, be my name. There ain't never no rest from this pain. Sing my sorrow, be my name. Oh Lord, if I didn't know any better. Hey.
Being a musician is a job. We make it look probably like, oh, you know, but it's a lot of work. I mean, a lot of practice. Brett puts in at least 3 hours a day practicing, you know, plus he's a full-time dad, plus he hustles and goes all over the country, you know. Mr. Tackman teaches. He's a professional music teacher as well as being a professional musician that travels and goes all over. And you become hired based off your reputation. And the same with Chad. He works in IT. However, he's been a professional musician for a long time, as well as Mr. Wick, who gets called on national, you know, acts to sit in with the band. So we all consider this to be a serious job. So when we come in, you know, we're coming in to professionally melt your faces off. And so that's what it is.
So the rest of the guys, when did you hear about Annie Mack and how did you end up in this band?
I'll go first. All right. A friend of mine, Ken Valdez, was talking. I think Annie and him were talking, and she was looking for a guitar player, and so he kind of hooked me up with the connection. I went and checked out the music, and I really felt like the way she writes and the sound and stuff, I could be myself in it while still contributing to it. And so we started working together. It felt, to me, pretty natural. I think we've become friends as much as I almost cried a little bit saying that. We talk, we get deep. But yeah, it's been nice because I really respect her songwriting. I respect her craft. And I just like supporting her and creating an environment where she can do her thing. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, right? I mean, there's outstanding players. When you get this level of players, you all know what to do and what not to do to make the space for Annie or for each other also.
She has this thing where, like, I work with a lot of people, a lot of different people, and sometimes you come into a situation and there can be this kind of, all right, what do you got, kind of standoffish thing, and Annie has this gift of coming out, and within 3 songs, everyone's like, oh, I like this, and it just takes the wall down, and that makes me feel comfortable, and I really enjoy that. Sometimes people who don't have that gift add to that, and then I feel like I want to crawl into a corner and hide while playing, so yeah, sure. It's really great.
So, Alec, you've been with Annie for 10 years then.
Yeah, off and on. Let's see. I'd finished college and moved back to town, and I don't remember who called. Might have been Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone. Hey, there's a gig tonight. And like, I don't know any of the music. Like, don't worry about it. We pretty much just jammed the whole night anyway. And like, super fun. Yeah. I mean, we would pull like entire sets out.
Yeah, this feels good. Sure.
Yep. But. Yeah, just off and on. You know, sometimes, like she was saying, you get other gigs and it doesn't work out this time. But yeah, we've been playing a lot more this summer.
He's a Berkeley graduate, so that was like, what? Like in Rochester, it was like, okay, a Berkeley kid.
Tim, you've joined Annie a couple years ago.
We've done like duets, duos, just piano and voice.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'd seen Annie playing with other bands at other shows, that kind of, Annie was with different bands, and so that's how I got to know her. I'd see her playing.
It's a blessing to have some consistency. It really is.
And Chad is kind of the pup of the band, right?
I have subbed a little bit before I signed on full-time in June, but I kind of got to know Annie through a year or two ago. She released an EP called Tell It Like It Is, and I'm friends with the producer of that record, and I play with the producer in different projects, and then there's a few times where she needed a band, and so he said, hey, come play this Annie Mack show. So I played with her about maybe half a dozen times, and then she asked me back in the spring if I wanted to sign on full-time.
I think it's just like divine intervention, honestly. I didn't know I was writing songs. I was just writing to get things out. I never thought I'd have the audacity to become a musician and want to get paid for it. So it's been a lot I've had to learn in kind of a short-ish amount of time, and just being humbled and being inspired. Like, these gentlemen pushed me to work harder, as well as a lot of other peers.
She looked at me and said, child, you come to sing the blues. You didn't choose them, but they sure enough chose you. Getting baptized, getting baptized in the blues, baby. Hey! Love, you know I'm talking about getting baptized. Saints gather round, beating out the rhythm on that hollow ground. Many are called, but the chosen of you. A son house, the reverend, I'm already MVP too. Come on, I'm getting baptized, getting baptized in the blues, baby. I'm talking about, oh yes, I'm getting baptized. Come on. Getting baptized in the blues, baby. Yes, you know I'm talking about, oh yeah, getting baptized. Out on the blues highway, Memphis to Clarksdale town. Washed in the cotton fields, music all around. Samson and Delilah and the walls of Jericho. Music of the promised land deep down in my soul. I'm getting baptized in the blues, baby. Hey, hey, yes, oh yeah. You know I'm getting baptized, oh yeah. baptized in the blues, baby. I'm getting baptized.
The White Wall Sessions is recorded at Last Stop Studios in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and is produced by Spectrum Films Incorporated. Executive producers are Jeff Zuger, Doug Taylor, Greggy Johnson, and Jay Fishback. Head of broadcast is Dave Palmer. Associate producer is Mike Yeager. The White Wall Sessions Radio is produced and edited by Jeff Zuger. Audio recording and mixing by Carl Koiser, Kevin Phipps, and Dave Palmer. Scheduling and artist relations, Tom Eisner. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. Join us next week, same time, same station.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.